What Radio, the music you want.
With your host, Keys Dan.
Don't ever call me stupid, okay?
RadioWhat.com.
What's up, party people? It's Keys Dan with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, and this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous? It's a podcast to find out more about you. Yes, you. I'm talking to you. Everybody has a story, and you have a story to tell, and I want to hear your story. I'm trying to learn some stuff from people, not just famous people, but everyday people. If you think you're not famous, you're important to somebody. At the very least, you're important to me. I want to hear your story. This is What Makes You Famous. Oh, yeah, and happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Today on the program, Matthew Bolinger. Without further ado, let's give a chit-chat to Matthew Bolinger. Calling Matthew Bolinger.
Are you there?
Hello, Matthew Bolinger.
Yes, sir. Mr. Keith Dan, how are you doing today?
It's good. Welcome to the show.
Well, happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day to you. Are you wearing green?
I'm not, but the pin in my hand is green.
Oh, well played. Well played. That's something. How do you plan on spending your St. Patrick's Day?
Well, the same way you found me. We have a friend in common, I suppose.
Okay.
That's safe to say.
I suppose it is. So tell me more about you. This is What Makes You Famous. It's all about your life story.
All right. So I've watched the last couple of shows you did last Thursday with Ty King. So
sure,
trying to have an idea. I know you told him to take his time. That show went over a little bit over an hour. So definitely interesting story.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Everybody has a story. You know, you think the people on the streets don't have a story, but everyone came from somewhere and ended up somewhere. And your whole life becomes a part of you. And let's start at the beginning. Where are you from?
All right. I was born in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Okay.
January 24th, 1975. Which pretty much makes me, 44 and a quarter years old?
That's about right.
It's earlier to say 44 and a half.
That's what little kids do. I'm 5.5. Striving for that 5 3/4. Striving for that next age.
Well, it's funny to me when I say 44 and a half because people have a tendency to giggle and think that's funny. So putting a smile on somebody's face or making them laugh, you know.
Well, my mom's still counting my age in months.
Right.
And I'm tying my own shoes now. It's 484 months. I've weaned them off the bottle.
So, Fayetteville, Arkansas, 1975.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from what I hear, those were crazy times.
Who do you hear from? Parents?
Uh-huh.
Who do you hear from? Your parents?
Yes, sir.
Tell me about them.
That generation. So my mom was, she's a hard worker, grew up in a military home, kind of did the whole black sheep thing, you know, hippie generation kind of hit in and anti-military, anti-wars kind of stuff. So that made black sheep. So, but Mama had me about 22 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, kind of hate not to, you know, to talk bad about anybody, especially family in a sense. But, you know, my father just kind of, he was young too. I guess he had his own plans on what he wanted to do. And, well, here I am. So,
okay.
Mom worked real hard to kind of, you know, raise me. My grandparents spoiled me rotten. Then when I was about 2, she met my stepdad. Kind of like as Ty was saying last week, you know, he kind of grew up in a rough home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was raised on a real religious standpoint. Turn the other cheek, takes a bigger man to walk away. That what would God do? Try to represent to be more of a positive demeanor, which when you walk away from bullying, you don't really stand up for yourself in a sense. I guess how you approach it, but it becomes hard for kids, in junior high and high school, and not knowing how to really kind of defend themselves in a proper way that keeps them from beating themselves down. So, Dad, Mom would we take off, and from one end of the state, we go from Arkansas to California to North Carolina to Colorado.
When was this?
Things were kind of when I was, between the ages of like 2 and 5. Mainly is when Mom shifted us around. When my sister was born, it slowed down somewhat. But
when was she born?
84.
Okay.
6 years older than me, so 81 actually. She was born in 81.
81.
So, and
so 6 years younger then.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
And then, but Dad would come back around. He'd get comfortable. Some people work under, if things are going too good for them, then they straight, they can't handle what's going to happen if things are going good. There's got to be some kind of dysfunction in their life, I suppose. But so Dad would get back in his ways, and Mom would stay in church, and things would be bad. We'd run off, and Dad would get back in church, and then she'd give him another chance. She just really wanted to keep the family together, raise us in a home where it was the same parents and the same lifestyle. But
and this is back in Arkansas, or because you went to Arkansas, Colorado,
North Carolina? Arkansas, California to Colorado, North Carolina, back to Arkansas. You think about 3 month spans. There was 1 year, probably when I was 8 or 9. Seems like I went to 8 or 9 different schools within one. There's some schools I attended to for a couple weeks, and some I attended to for a couple months. But until we could just get settled down, I guess.
And why did they move around? This wasn't military, or was it?
No, sir. It was more that Mom had to get away. The violence was so bad, or we would worry about what would happen next. So sometimes you need to leave a situation and not stick around and think it's going to get better.
The violence from who? You had a stepdad at this point, right?
Yeah. The stepdad, he was violent.
Oh, okay.
He'd on drink and rampage. It'd be. There'd be some nights we'd come home from church or somewhere, and he'd be hiding in the dark, and things just kind of get intense in situations like that. So Mom would try her best to get us into a better place in life. Okay, so
you guys were on your own by this time.
Yes, sir. And then
you can call me Keys Dan, or just Dan.
All right, Dan, Mr. Dan.
Perfect.
So, we'd move around, we'd get stable. Dad would change his ways, so we'd run back to California. Or he'd come to where we were at, and before we were moving back to California. And a lot more work in California back in the 80s and 90s than there was for Arkansas, especially Northwest Arkansas. It was still small,
Okay.
You go from a population of 20, 30,000 to 2 or 3 million. It's a culture change.
Oh yeah, you got 20,000 on your block in California.
So things kind of leveled out a little bit as they grew and matured. And, things would be good, things would be bad, but Mom just believed in her man. Stood by her man. And
well, that's good.
So we moved to California.
What year was California?
My 8th grade year. That summer, going into the 9th grade, would have been 1988, I believe. 88. Pretty much around the same time as the East Coast, West Coast kind of started popping off, and the gangster rap and all that kind of stuff. So it's about 88, 89.
Yeah, I think rap started getting bad around 90.
yeah. That's when it really blew up for sure. So we moved to California. I started high school in the 9th grade there. We're in Arkansas. That was when we had junior high, and then high school started in 10th grade. So, which was kind of cool because all my friends back home were still in junior high. I got to call them from California saying I was in high school.
Sure.
But Santa Monica High School was a great school. 3 blocks from the ocean. It was really, it was an awesome time experience for me. So
you spent a lot of time at the beach?
Oh, I did.
What kind of activities did you do on the beach?
I like to boogie board and body surf. I couldn't really find myself trying to stand on a piece of wood and ride a wave. So it was a lot easier to lay on my belly and wish for the best.
Yeah, I'm from Miami, and we didn't have a lot of good surf there. I think our waist high was probably about the best, and I tried to get up on a board one time, and it just didn't work out so well.
right. Yeah, without any waves, you can't really enjoy the surf, I suppose.
Sure enough. So you did have some fun times in the late 80s, early 90s?
Yeah. I mean, you got to make the best out of every situation. I try to remember the good things more than the bad things.
Sure. You have a lot of friends?
Well, yeah. Well, growing up, again, like I was saying, Mom always taught me how to turn the other cheek and walk away from a fight. And I was the pretty boy, the new pretty boy in school all the time. So
you're gorgeous.
Yeah, well, I think it's my eyes, Dan. It's my eyes and my charming personality.
I didn't want to mention it because I didn't want to embarrass you, but yeah, you're a looker. Find him on Facebook. No, I'm kidding.
Right. Nothing wrong with a little bit of eye candy, right, Dan?
Sure enough. So you're living the good life. I mean, turning the other cheek. That's biblical teachings, I suppose. And then you got a couple friends, maybe.
Yeah, well, it's hard to make friends when you're always running from a fight, in a sense, because now everybody's picking on you, and now the more you get bullied, the more people see you bullying. They want to jump on board because that makes them feel, well, if he's getting bullied, it's not me. So that and that has a tendency as a kid to kind of make you upset. But I had more female friends than I had male friends.
Well, that's not such a bad thing, is it?
No, not really. But when you're starting high school and you want to date somebody, and they're like, I think you make a better friend than you do a boyfriend. I mean, you go, yeah, thanks.
I want a guy just like you, but not you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Story of my life.
Aren't as pretty. But so being bullied and trying to go that route. So that's 89. We're coming into 90, and it might have been the summer of 89 when we were going through football training. Living in California, I answered an ad in a post. Oh, actually, it wasn't a post back then. It's what you call classified. And that's in the newspaper for those that might not know.
A newspaper is like a tablet, but you pick it up in your hands. It's made of paper. Right. And you cannot point and click at things. This is a newspaper.
Exactly.
All right, kids.
So they were doing an audition. Alan Thicke was the producer for the TV show Kids Win, Lose, or Draw.
Kids what?
And Win, Lose, or Draw.
Ah, Win, Lose, or Draw.
Right.
1989.
Yeah. So, me and my buddy, we auditioned together, and we ended up making the role right out of the beginning. And then we had to be the examples of the next 50,000 kids coming through. So there was only 10 shows that year. 20 boys, 20 girls got picked. And it was a really fun experience. So the producers loved us. They made sure we tried to get on with a good show. So, Skippy from Family Ties.
Skippy?
The neighbor next door.
Yeah.
He was the host. Little Danny Pintaro, the blonde-haired boy from Who's the Boss, was the celebrity on my team. And then the females team was the second blonde-haired daughter on Roseanne. But now it's back on the Connors. So
you're living the California life, kind of a celebrity.
Right. Yeah, well, yeah. But, growing up and watching Nickelodeon and those game shows, you always want, as a guy anyway, you wanted that trip to, space camp in Atlanta, Georgia. That was always the big prize, To me, I grew up watching those shows, and that's what I wanted, and that's what I was hoping to win. Well, we came through. We spent about 2 hours on that show, and we ended up winning.
Hey, all right. Congratulations.
Yeah, we dominated. We just we killed it.
So 1990, you win, lose, or draw. Celebrity edition, I guess, or this is
Yes,
kids edition.
Right, that's correct. Episode 3.
Okay, and what's the prize?
And so the girls, they win the karaoke machine, and that's a brand new, coming out. And so we're excited. Now, you got to keep in mind, me and John were football players. We were jocks. That's what we did. We played football and went to the beach.
So was 1989 the first time you went to football camp, or had you been playing football your whole life?
Well, I grew up kind of playing football in the yard, but, moving around so much, we always kind of missed playing for a school. But I missed it when I moved there in 9th grade, but we did it for the 10th grade. So we had pretty much started, the year before practice, joining the team, going through spring training and the workout. We were on summer break when all this happened.
So 89 was a pretty good year, at least the summertime. You had the football training, you had the TV show, Win, Lose, or Draw Kids. You won the prize, you got the karaoke machine. Did you ever make it to Atlanta?
I didn't get the karaoke machine. I got a set of World Book encyclopedias, Dan.
Hey, encyclopedias. All right, kids, for those of you who don't know, encyclopedias is like Google that you can hold in your hands and fold. It's got paper. What's paper? Let's see.
Right. That was our Google.
That was our Google.
I thought that was my runner-up prize, Dan.
Okay.
So, I'm blessed. I'm on TV. I got to meet some movie stars, and I win encyclopedias. But here's the kicker. You can't collect your prize until the last episode is aired, and then it's 6 to 8 weeks before you receive them. Oh. Now, that's the same year Russia changed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the wall got torn down, didn't it?
Yeah, that's right. And
so the encyclopedias were bunk.
Yeah, Russia makes up a large part of the encyclopedias, apparently. So now my prize went from $1,500 to $150.
Yeah.
But hey, I was on TV, right?
Hey, you were on TV. You got some fame.
So that same summer, as school starts back up, football starts, we get into a couple games, and we have homecoming coming up that weekend. And and then my show was going to air the following week. Well, I ended up in practice the day before our homecoming game, playing defensive end and tight end. Well, first string couldn't really get the ball past the second string defense, so I asked the quarterback to do a pop pass. It's something we've been practicing for a while for the tight end. It's just you kind of bump the guy you're defending or just blocking you, and then you go out 3 yards and the ball lands in your lap in some instances.
Okay.
5 or 6 yard game. Well, the quarterback underthrows, and I have to lean back and turn my body to catch the ball. So when I catch it and I turn around across the goal line, the wideout sticks me and puts his helmet right in my stomach and plants me into the ground.
Ouch.
Well, my stomach kind of started to hurt, and I got dizzy, real nauseous. Coach thought I was faking, asked me what I ate, said big salad for lunch, sir, and he thought I was just being a sissy. And they walked me off the field, and it got worse. I felt like puking. They walked me to the locker room, and Coach told them boys to get back on the field.
Put some dirt on it. Get back in the game.
Yeah. So they dropped me off in the locker room. I still had my pads and my helmet on. And I remember laying back on the bench and falling asleep in a sense. I was so tired. And I just remember little bright lights shooting past me real fast. It's an experience I'll never forget. And then when at some point I got scared and I woke up and I came straight up and I was fully dressed. And there was nobody in my street clothes with my shirt tucked in, my belt on, my shoelaces were tied. And I was like, I just, okay, now I'm getting scared because what just happened? I have no idea.
How many hours had passed on this point?
About an hour and a half.
Oh.
And I'm just getting weaker and weaker. And the guys are still on the field practicing. I make it to the payphone and I page my mom. That's kind of how we communicated with the pager. Kind of showing my age, Dan.
Oh, I get it. I understand.
So Mom was 2 hours she was in downtown LA, which was 2 hours away. So anyway, my uncle and my aunt came, got me to the hospital. They put those little things on my arm, test your blood pressure or whatever. At that point, they yanked me up real fast, threw me in the back, cut my clothes off, started sticking tubes in my nose. And they can't tell me nothing because I'm a minor. So I'm waiting for my mom to get there. Anyway, by the time they got the IVs in my arm, tubes in my nose, down my throat, everything, they explained to me that my spleen had split in two pieces.
Oh,
and that my insides were completely full of blood. My lungs were about halfway full of blood, and I was bleeding on the inside really bad. But now that my mom was there and that they were going to get me ready for surgery to remove my spleen, I'm thinking, okay, so the summer started out great. Here we are at the end of the summer. Okay. Yeah. Yay, Matt. So
1989 was a turning point here. It's just a lot of things happened here.
My grandpa had me lined up to go to Annapolis, Maryland, to be an officer as well.
Wow.
That year. Had my whole life kind of set up for me in a sense. But major surgery kind of cuts that out of the picture. But they said I had a 30% chance of dying. That the operation's only going to be, chances of dying were higher than living. But
no, funny you mentioned this. This is kind of paralleling something that happened in my life. In 1987, I was scheduled to go into the Navy, and 2 days beforehand, I get in a motorcycle wreck. No Navy.
Right.
So you were supposed to go to Annapolis, and you were supposed to have your life set.
Officer. Yeah. Yes, sir. And anyway, I remember my mom crying. I told them both, I said, I'll see y'all in a little bit. I came out of it. I kind of had to learn how to walk again and get my organs back in line. But I was out. But during this time period is when my show aired. And luckily, a friend of my mom's had recorded it on a VHS tape. So it's kind of hard to find this episode. I wish I had it. But anyway, so
it's got to be out there somewhere. If anyone's listening, find that show. Right. Get it to Matthew Bolinger.
Yeah, Danny Pitaro has it in his storage. I've reached out to him and talked to him since. So one day we'll get it. But I had that tape with me forever. But anyway, so my football career is pretty much done that year. I'm kind of upset. That year, still trying to play football and be part of the team. Crips and the Bloods and gangster rap started popping off. Wait
a minute, you're still trying to play football with no spleen?
Well, I wanted to, but they wouldn't let me play for a year. I played again the following year, my junior year.
Oh, okay, all right.
So, I don't give up, Dan.
No,
I'm going for it. Well, at some point, I ended up getting involved with the wrong crowd at school. I knew my future was kind of down the drain. And
this is 91?
Yeah, going into my last part of my sophomore year, so class of 93, 92, it'd be 91.
91, you get in with the wrong crowd.
Right, and I, get wrapped up, in the whole gang scene and that lifestyle. And, it's a crazy thing. Something I really don't like talking about, but that's too, what made me part of me as I got older. Well,
what kind of things were you doing?
Being dumb and young, gang banging, that kind of, being a part of a crowd, probably I shouldn't have been doing, just being a nuisance. So mom kind of seen that. Mom kind of seen it, and then the LA riots hit, and LA started getting kind of wild, and crazy. So she moved me back home.
What year was the LA riots? Was that 91 as well?
That's right in that time period. Probably about 92, maybe. Mm-hmm. Might have been 92.
Gonna have to look that up.
92 would have been my junior year. So I watched that live go down. The whole thing. I was home that day. But anyway, so mom moves me home to Springdale, Arkansas, my senior year. Now, I had gone to school.
You said 92?
Sixth grade year. Right. Yes, sir. Because we were class of 93. So I would have started that summer of 92 into Springdale And, mom and dad been kind of getting through their issues and the problems, and, getting older with it, I suppose.
By this time, your stepdad is pretty cool to you?
Yeah, he's doing better, showing some effort. So, we moved home to Arkansas. So that was a rough transition, trying to, being in LA and living that lifestyle and dressing with baggy clothes and,
I understand. Getting here from Miami was about the same.
Right. Yeah, it's a culture change for sure. But, and then some people knew who I was. Kind of as I got older, I guess I realized I was more popular than I thought. I was just insecure. But
was it the television show or just your personality?
No, just my personality mainly. So my senior year when I come home, everybody knew Bolinger was bad. And that was pretty cool. But then I had some arch rivals that wanted to test my limits. But now things have kind of changed a little bit for me. I'm not so scared anymore.
Sure. You're a senior. You're supposed to rule the school.
Right. So we get into Christmas time and some things go down with our family, and my mom ends up finding a receipt and for a necklace. So we thought that, that's what she's expecting for Christmas. Well, when Christmas came around and that necklace wasn't there, the story kind of popped out, what was going on. And my dad was having an affair with my mom. So my sister got shipped, sent to some friend's house, and my mom had to go into charter to kind of get, her head straight and stuff, get things wrapped around, because things were good for a while. So 2 weeks before my end of my first semester, just kind of happens. Mom goes off to charter. I had to get all this stuff out of the house, and mom's like, "You're about to be 18. Keep your head up." So I was like, "All right." Again, I got to be the man of the house and make sure everything kind of happens. My sisters are safe and figure out how to keep my life on track.
So your stepdad's immediately out of the picture on this one?
At this point. It's done and kind of over with at that time. So I kind of moved in with my grandma, found an old, girl that we knew each other from the 8th grade. And we started dating, and next thing you know, we're running off to Colorado and dropped out of school and got married in Las Vegas in the backseat of a limousine, the little white chapel of love.
Wait, you dropped out of high school or college?
Yeah, I dropped out of high school my senior year.
Yeah.
When all that went down with my mom. And then kind of got a job and went to work. That's when I met my first wife.
Oh, okay.
We moved to Colorado. My father lives out there, so I was trying to reunite with my father in a sense, because he wasn't really never in the picture too much.
Because of your biological dad that was left around too?
Yes, sir. So I wanted to kind of get to know him. I was getting older, find out what my bloodline is made out of, I know I get my mama's heart, and I get all that, but there's other parts of me I want to know where they come from.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a long story for another day. But
we got time.
Anyway, so we stay in Colorado for a year. My first wife gets pregnant. She wants to come back to Arkansas to have the baby because that's where her family is. So we moved back to Arkansas. Well, I come home from work one day, and there's a truck and a trailer out in front of our apartment. And come to find out, she was moving back to Arkansas. That's how I found out.
Okay.
Hey, by the way, my friend and her dad's here packing the truck up. You weren't supposed to be home this early. I left you a note. I'm like, okay. Well, it was like, I'll see you in a couple weeks. So we stayed there. I came home. That was 93.
And
the end of 93 going into 1994 is when we moved back to Arkansas.
This is your first wife. She was trying to leave you, and then you just kind of followed her back to Arkansas?
Right, because she was pregnant. She's about 8 months pregnant. This
right.
94. And so she just said she wanted to go home and be with her family and have the kids. And, my mom lived here anyway, so it wasn't no big deal. I just thought, hey, why didn't you talk to me about it?
Right.
But, so she does that. We move home. We have my first son. His name is Matthew Thomas. I'm Matthew Joseph. So.
Hey.
And then so things are going good there for a while. Well, about the same time, methamphetamine started hitting the state. Back in the 90s, living in the state, methamphetamine kind of hit. You had no idea what was coming. Nobody knew the storm that was brewing in. Nobody had billboards. Nobody had signs. Nobody had awareness. Nobody had a clue. So, and it took a while for me to even try to be a part of that, but it is what it is. So next thing I know, I have a problem, and I've got to figure out ways of, not doing people wrong, but just supporting our habit
with methamphetamine.
That's correct. So
and the wife too.
And the wife too. When she wanted to lose weight, she had a friend that did it, and that's how it kind of got introduced in a sense into my life. But nobody knew it was one of those things where it was just going to be a destroyer. But
was it often, or were you able to handle your high, I guess? Or
oh no, there was no such thing as handling your high.
Yeah, I'm not familiar. I've never been on it, so I need to learn from you.
Right. So at the times you think you're handling it, and you find it cheaper to do it when you're selling it, and then you're 19, 20 years old, you don't have a clue. And so that becomes a little bit overwhelming. It's a snowball effect that just gets bigger and bigger as you go. Next thing you know, you're starting to sell drugs, every drug there is to everybody and trying to be whatever I guess cool that you think at that time.
So you're not only taking meth, you're selling it?
Right, along with, other narcotics as well. But, for me, it was coming out of high schools and the junior highs, being picked on all the time, and never really having that many friends. Now you're cool. Everybody wants to be your friend. Everybody wants to hang out, and everybody wants to come over. Everybody,
Oh, yeah, you got the good stuff, and you got a couple bucks in your pocket, right?
Yeah, now everybody wants to be your friend. You got money, you got drugs, and everybody wants to come in and be your friend.
Okay.
Well,
yeah.
So things were getting kind of overwhelming.
94, 95?
Yeah, going into 95. Wife gives me an ultimatum, either stop what you're doing and get a real job, or I'm leaving him. So I was like, well, let's go ahead and get on out of Arkansas. We moved to Branson.
Okay.
Well,
up to Missouri.
So, right. I drop everything I'm doing. She ends up getting a job at a restaurant and meets a guy, and that's when the little triangle began. Next thing you know, I'm getting a note saying, "Hey, I'm sorry, I just can't do this, but I'll take you anywhere you want to go. I'll let me know when I get home from work tonight."
What?
And that was the Saturday when I got that letter when she went to work. She handed me the note when I dropped her off, so I got to read it when I got back. So I knew I was kind of, here we go, I'm on the street. So she drives me back from Branson, Missouri to Fayetteville, Arkansas on a Sunday morning and drops me off at the storage unit and gives me $1 and says, and takes the car and my son and runs back to Branson. But she made sure she mentioned, here's $1. I didn't want you to be broke.
Okay. Yeah. Not nice. That's not nice, cool.
But my mom and dad, they moved back to California. When by the time I came back, a lot of my friends were gone or doing different things. So I was kind of on the street at this point, and lived on the street for probably about 1.5 years, just kind of bouncing around here and there. Well, I come across an old Grateful Dead hippie. This is pretty much when the Grateful Dead were on their last tail end of touring and stuff. And they had what was called devil sticks, Diablo sticks.
Not sure what that is.
You have a stick in each hand, and then you have another stick that you twirl and twist like a baton. Is that the right word?
Okay.
But it's like a gesture. If you Google devil sticks or Diablo sticks, that you see them more online, but it's more of a visual art. but the military used it for combat back in long time ago to teach you hand and eye coordination.
Oh, okay.
And but it takes a lot of practice and lots of dedication to kind of master it and to where it's performance. So I just kind of like lost myself into that, trying to figure out in my head, 'cause I'm 20 years old. Now I just lost my first wife and my son. I'm on the street. I don't have no job.
Might as well do some baton twirling, I guess.
You're right. You got to find yourself somewhere.
Now, is that what a Diablo stick is? Kind of like a baton twirling?
Right. Well, it's like and the stick in the middle is designed. I use tennis balls so they would bounce, and glow sticks so you can
like
see
a yo-yo
them at night or on the floor. And then you have two sticks in your hand, and what you do is you twist that one stick with the other two sticks. Twirl it and spin it and so on. It's kind of hard to explain.
Okay, no problem. I'm looking. It's like a yo-yo, I guess, kind of. They got the two sticks. It kind of looks like you're going to handle a marionette. This video looks like he's got a yo-yo in the middle that he's kind of going back and forth with. But
right.
Okay, so what's the point of all of that?
I started practicing and getting like really good at it, and I run into an upcoming band called Aphrodisia. Part of the band was from Fayetteville, part of them was from Little Rock.
And you become a mascot type of thing?
Yeah, in a sense. So when you go to the club at night, and the bands are just starting to warm up, and everybody's kind of coming in. The dance floor is always empty.
Yeah.
And people are just kind of sitting around waiting for that one or two people to get on to break the ice on the dance floor, I guess, in a sense. So I was able to do my sticks and be part of the visual entertainment of it.
Okay. Yeah, I had a kid that used to do glow sticks on a string and kind of do a show like that, warming up for when I was setting up my DJ equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
This is 97?
Yeah, this is 90. We're going into 95, 90, about 96 at this point.
96. Diablo sticks. Okay. In Fayetteville.
Right. And so I started making them. I was selling them at shows. We were getting them in to other little, hippie stores and stuff. And so I became like really almost a master at it. The crowd, as the band grew, the crowds grew, the fans kind of grew. So it was kind of cool that I had a new, venture into something that was a little bit more positive.
Yeah, definitely. Much better than meth. Yes. Use the Diablo sticks.
Right. So I'd end up taking center stage at night. At the end of the night, they did No Woman, No Cry, kind of the band introduction. And, it was kind of fun. We went from Northwest Arkansas to Little Rock. It was almost like 4 or 5 shows a week. And
now, you were able to make money off of this then?
Well, a little bit. I would help the band set up, before and after the show, so I'd get a little bit of kickback for that. But it was just more, stability and somewhere to kind of go with it. I had something to do besides, racking my brain on where I'm going to stay or where I'm going to live. So just kind of try to be a part of something, to build myself back up.
Oh yeah, and it's creative. It's what you wanted to do, kind of, in California with the TV show, I guess. Am I reading that right?
Yeah. Well, the TV show, everybody wants to, you see something you want and you just kind of go for it. Who doesn't want to be on a game show on Nickelodeon? Sure.
And you're trying to use your creative juices there
right.
with the sticks.
Right. And, sometimes I look back and wish we had cell phones where we could have recorded it. There were a lot of good, fun nights, but,
I'm sure somebody's got it out there.
Right. So things kind of, that gets to be a crazy lifestyle. I ended up getting a job, at a DJ in Northwest Arkansas for a nightclub.
Hey, winner!
And now I'm in the club scene. So, that's late nights, and that's wild, and that's partying, and that's just, the nightlife is the nightlife.
Yeah.
Well, old habits have a tendency to pop back up again.
Oh, okay.
So, I end up getting wrapped up, kind of, using and trying to, get myself through. It's cool. I'm in my early 20s, partying and DJing in a nightclub. And
what were you getting back into at this point?
The same things I was into the time before.
Meth and other narcotics.
That's right. At this time, it's starting to blow up in Northwest Arkansas. Where it's just, again, nobody really knew what was coming. It kind of brewed, it blew in real quick and just stayed. But, so that kind of, that lifestyle began to pop back up again, living like a rock star, living it up, manager of a nightclub, DJ of a nightclub. So at this time is where I meet my next wife. I was the manager DJ, and she came in as an employee. And we were together from 99 until about 2012.
Okay, so you DJ'd probably for about 2 years at that point, right?
Yeah, well, I had about 10 years of DJing, my whole 20. So from 2000, 2001 to 2012, when she left, 10 of those years was, majority of the nightclub life. I'd leave sometimes to go try a real job, but the money wasn't as good as it was when, I was a DJ, and that's what I like to do. I was good at what I did then too.
Yeah, it's a fun job.
I'm starting to realize no matter what I put myself into or what I tried to attempt, I'm good at. As long as I put forth that effort, I've learned now that I'm in my 40s, no matter what you try, got to do the right thing and the positive things, and it pans out. But in 2010...
so we're jumping from 99 to 2010 then?
Right. Because, basically I had kids, things kind of up and down, same old song and dance.
Okay, so you had a good married life at that point?
Right. Well, we broke up a lot of fighting, but she had a son, and I kind of took him under my wing and raised him, but I was kind of like my mama. I wanted to get in a relationship and hold it down. I didn't want to bounce from girl to girl and do all that. I just kind of wanted to pick one and stick with it. So when you get married or when you get with somebody and you give your word, if you're going to do what you're going to do, you got to do it. If you want to be my girlfriend and we're partners, then, we got to live that lifestyle.
Well, but you made a commitment. You did good.
Yeah, well, I tried. I did the best I could. We were just opposites in a lot of ways.
So, I'm sorry, 2010, what happened?
So 2010, I began my stint of sobering up,
Okay.
And I'm done with that lifestyle. I kind of started my own business in a resale shop. Selling so 2008, 2009, the recession kind of hit, gas prices went up. People were moving out of their big homes to smaller homes.
Is a real resale shop like a pawn shop?
Yeah, well, like a thrift store type deal. I sold used furniture. I bought storage units and went to auctions and bought the stuff and then would resell it. I ended up getting my own little store.
Okay.
Hidden Treasures. And we were in Siloam Springs, Arkansas at that time.
Siloam Springs. Got it.
The best part of that story is I wanted to prove to my friends and everybody that, there's opportunity. My store rarely represented life after meth. Just because you had a drug habit or you made bad choices, doesn't mean that you can't come up out of that. And so that's what I was trying to represent. And I would pull people from the street. I had friends that were getting out of jail for drugs, possessions, or people like they would hit their dead into the street and they didn't have nothing to do. I kind of pull them in and take them under my wing and give them work and try to be a friend, put a roof over their head, food in their belly. The best I could with what I had. I still had a wife and 3 kids at this point.
And you're trying to help other people on the streets there.
Right. At the same time, trying to get back a little bit. So from that point, the wife really wasn't done. So when I found out what they were doing, the people I worked with, my friends, my wife behind my back, I gave her the choice. It's me and the kids, or it's you and that, them and that lifestyle. So in 2012, she chose them and that lifestyle.
Wow.
So it's me and the kids at this point. And I was devastated, man. Like, I worked 10, 12, 14-hour days, 7 days a week trying to build something and getting and growing, and it was taking off, and we were making money, and things were looking good, you know. Kids were happy, stable.
How many kids at this point?
And 3. I ended up having a son and a daughter.
Hey, all right.
And along with my stepson that I raised. But so when she left, I hit rock bottom.
I believe you.
Again. And my kids were hurting. They lost the twinkle out of their eye. They were confused. I couldn't understand because I'm trying to do the right thing, and why, you know, life's got a way of keeping you flat in the mouth sometimes. And but I got it in my head, half of nothing's nothing. You know, so I just pretty much shut those doors, threw everything in storage, and let it all go, you know, because I wasn't going to work hard just to have her take half of it. And go ahead.
So you closed up the store and you got back on the drugs?
I did. At that point, that's the only way I could get numb, you know, and try to get through my emotions and my feelings and stuff. And at the same time, trying to keep it together somehow, some way, not giving up.
And the kids?
Got to be numb.
How are they getting through this?
Well, one day at a time, I suppose, but I always tried to keep the brighter side of the picture always showing, you know. And they were 6 and 8 and 12, I believe, right around that age. So they kind of knew what was going on, but they didn't care. They were with Daddy. You know, as long as they're with Daddy, they're fine.
Right.
And so we get into 2013, try to go to Colorado, get out of Arkansas, make a change. But we get flooded out. That's when Boulder flooded and Denver, Colorado Springs kind of got flooded out with all those rains after the fires and stuff.
Oh.
And we ended up moving back home. Well, at this point, I knew I just couldn't get it together. We're about a year into the separation, and I'm lost. I'm tired. I don't, you know, I have to have purpose. Well, my mom kind of, you know, steps up the plate and helps me out and helps me with the kids. And I try to take some time to fix myself. You know, I needed some alone time, you could say.
Yes.
And where it was just me, where I could focus on what my issues were, what I need to do in my life, what my demons are, my inner demons. And so when that time came where I got myself ready back to get into the, face reality, things started kind of, you know, it was a little bit confusing. But I happened to have the pleasure of meeting the people at Ashley Furniture where I work now, and they kind of believed in me, gave me a shot.
What year was this?
I started with Ashley Furniture in 2015.
2015, Ashley Furniture. Good job. I've got a couple of beds from them.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, it feels the deal. I'll be a joy. So I started from the bottom and kind of worked my way up into the delivery team, and I made sales, the sales team November of 17. My first year was 2018. Sold $1 million in merchandise, 1 out of 7.
By yourself?
Yes, sir.
What?
I'm one of 7 people that did $1 million in sales in 2018. You know, Ashley Furniture is the largest furniture store in the nation. It's 100,000 square feet. You can't turn the TV on without seeing the commercial.
Oh, I've been there.
You can't even get on YouTube, and you can't, you know. So we've got great ownerships. We've got great sales staff. You know, our delivery team and our delivery managers and our vetting manager. I mean, the staff, you know, is just top notch. You know, they put us in good training, but the point is that they believed in me and they gave me a chance.
Yeah.
To prove myself. And so it's been, you know, all or nothing. And I'm trying to stand out and make an example, you know, trying to do something different. That's why, you know, I do a lot of posts on Facebook Marketplace. On my Facebook page, that logo right there, the cartoon character, my daughter drew that.
That's so beautiful.
I try to keep my kids involved with everything I do somehow, you know, but I couldn't do it without my mom's support. taking care of my kids and my mom being my backbone, making sure I keep it straight. You know, there's not enough words to really say thank you and how much I appreciate, you know, because it's not easy tolerating this guy, I promise. But she does a great job. So this year, you know, with social media, we do a lot of Grant Cardone study, and they give us all the kind of right materials on how to be better salespeople, you know, and how to reach your customers and get customer service base. But I kind of stepped out the box a little bit and tried to be a little bit more entertaining. You know, I've started going live on Thursday nights at 5:30. I've got customers that own small businesses, so I try to promote them as much as I can on my little, you know, live shows. They offer a piece of their business for me to give back to the customers, you know, like at Heights Nutrition. We got smoothies every week. My physical therapist, the PT Advantage, she, you know, has put up deep tissue massages along with the PT certified training for golfers and young golfers. And what kind of inspired me some to start my little live videos, trying to get my face out there, do something different than what everybody else has done, is a fella out of Florida. His name is New Breed. And he's kind of gone through a lot of struggles in his life. He's trying to overcome it and face, you know, better himself. He was not wanting to be able to be in public or not much. That's why he started getting on Facebook and starting to put his music out there. Which is, you know,
who's got their music out there? What's his name?
New Breed. It's NU space BREED.
Oh, okay.
So he kind of mixes country music with, you know, kind of country rap, I guess, in a sense.
Shout out to New Breed Music, then.
Yes, sir. You know, it's really kind of a real cool concept in the genre that he's working on, but his music's got a story. And that's, you know, a lot of the rap music we hear today doesn't really have a story to it. But
so while you're promoting your furniture sales, you're promoting other people.
That exactly.
Well, that sounds great.
That time, you know, with my Facebook Live to kind of push out, you know, give, you know, plugs for those, you know, the customers of mine that I appreciate their business, so I try to give back, you know, and then try to make it entertaining. But you know, these are all small people trying to, you know, do something with their life. And so, you know, it's exciting. This year's been kind of good. I just got some new doors opening up with Aaron Skaggs at Freedom Homes, where if you go in, you get it, you know, buy a mobile home or, you know, manufactured home, you can get a furniture allowance with a voucher, and you can put it at the end of your bill, you know, or mix it in with your payments on your home and payments. So that's, I kind of got some exclusive rights going on with that. So every week I've been able to pick up new sponsors, you know, but my life is just kind of taken off in a sense, you know, and it just kind of goes to show that hard work and diligence and doing the right thing, eventually, you know, it pays off.
So even though Ashley is a national furniture store, they let you act locally with your individual stores then?
Right. So each Ashley store is like a franchise.
Oh, okay.
Owned by individual owners, kind of like McDonald's and Burger Kings and stuff like that.
So they let you do local promotions then?
Right. So it's the same thing as commercials on TV. You know, you kind of have to represent, but I'm labeling myself and kind of working out the furniture store. So I'm promoting basically our sales, our clearance items, new products coming in, the different mattresses. You know, that's why I've been giving away, do giveaways. You know, when the people that, you know, I sponsor for, and they give a little piece of their business, I'm able to give back to the people that tune in and watch, just to kind of make it entertaining at the same time.
I get it. So how are the kids doing?
The kids are great. You know, I moved them down here to kind of, you know, to go all in with Ashley and settle on man, and they're doing great. You know,
so you're living in a Benton area, I'm guessing?
We live in Ward, you know, which is a nice, safe community. It's a good little drive to Bryant, but that's okay. You know, my son's in broadcasting, so you know, he's been getting involved some of my sponsors like Kelly kind of helped. He's got a competition and a thing in Seattle next week, and she helped out on that. That's why I enjoy doing these things for these other businesses, because they do things for me as well. They're supportive and they stand by me. It's not like when they buy furniture, they forget about me, and I think that's what I love about my customers the most, is I try to build a straight, strong customer base. I've learned from my past on the things that I've done wrong, and mistakes that I've made. I feel like I have to kind of pay it forward in a sense. You got to get back to your community. You got to take care of those people that are down when they're down, and never give up on yourself.
No, it shows. No matter what you do in your past, you can always pick yourself back up. You can forgive yourself is pretty much what you have to do.
Right. And you just kind of have to fix those issues that are broken inside you. Sometimes we just don't stop enough to breathe and to think what is the real problems. Or if we know what the problems are, we can't admit to it. We don't want to admit to our own faults, that our own mistakes. We're quick to want to blame somebody else. It's easier that way than to stop, think about it. I have to blame myself. I have to own this, take ownership of it. And then the beast of burdens.
Hey, while you're picking yourself up, you help other people on the way out,
Right.
That's a beautiful thing right there.
Like with New Breed inspiring me, I'm trying to inspire others. I'm watching, as people are starting to do Facebook Live more. That's just kind of the way we're going with technology. Is the only way to kind of to get yourself out there. I'm really trying to brand who I am, the kind of person I am, who I am, what I represent. That's why I had my logo with my daughter, to kind of show a little funnier side. That's eventually that's going to be my mark. You know what I mean? So when you see that, who that is, what that represents. So, I've had a great turnout with the customers over last year with Facebook Marketplace. And really try to make it a safe environment. Everybody deserves a good shot at good furniture for a good price. Some people have, a perception that Ashley furniture is expensive, and it's not. There's enough in there for everybody. We've got different kind of programs where we can work with people, financing, lease to own program, layaways. So,
well, Matthew Bolinger, after starting out at such a hardship, a hard life, getting up through, going from state to state, going through different high schools, even though you were a pretty boy, I get it, having that football injury, going to, even the TV show, Kids, Nickelodeon, and having the wife situations, and people have had troubles. Definitely getting off the dope is a good thing. You've ended up here in a pretty good place. You sound like a very stand up person. By all accounts, I've talked to some folks, and they say you're a good cat.
Well, I try. Actually, in their phrase that I do. I'm learning there's more than just saying I try. It's a matter of being I do.
Yeah. So, you don't just try, you succeed. You're doing it. You're doing the job. You've got this good furniture store, Ashley. Big shout out to Ashley Furniture. There you go. And $1 million seller. That's an accomplishment right there. Seems like the kids are doing well through it all. And that's all we can do is be good for our kids as well.
Yes. Now you got to never give up.
Never give up. I saw a guy with a tattoo that said, "Never don't give up." I think that's Kevin James's newest comedy special as well. Never don't give up.
Right.
But any other words of advice as you're cruising up? Anything you want to tell the people as we're closing this out?
Right. As far as you find yourself in a point in your life where you don't think there's a hope, or you hit rock bottom and you want to know, you just don't see a brighter light, you can't give up on yourself. You've got to keep fighting. You got to finish strong. You got to, chin up, head back, shoulders up, and kind of have a model at work, 10x plus 1% a day, whatever it takes to make you better. If you improve yourself a little bit at a time, I've learned you get further with baby steps than you do trying to take leaps and bounds. So, you can't give up. You never give up on yourself. If you want something bad enough, it's out there,
Matthew Bolinger, how do the people find you out there?
Facebook Marketplace. I'm at Ashley 6 days a week. My email address is mattbolinger75@gmail.com. Again, my logo, if you're looking for me on Facebook, it's not that hard. Matthew Bolinger. You'll see the Ashley Clinton sign in the background and a cartoon character of a bald-headed, blue-eyed fella with a goatee and his orange Ashley shirt on.
Well, I'm definitely going to use that logo, that cartoon, when I put it up on YouTube.
Right.
It's cool.
That's the trademark. So, but Dan, I appreciate this opportunity. It's my first time doing a podcast interview, so it's quite the experience. But most definitely.
I appreciate you telling your story, Matthew Bolinger. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Matthew Bolinger, Ashley Furniture, started from a very dark place and got up to working and helping people along the way. He's working at Ashley Furniture, selling some furniture, $1 million. That's impressive to me. He said only a few people have done the $1 million sales, and starting from not doing good drugs. I know people are back and forth on the drug situation. I know Kevin Smith is a proponent, and even Jason Mewes, whenever they talk about it on their podcast about drugs, Jason Mewes had to clean up completely, and Kevin Smith says just handle your high. So, two sides of the coin. But it looks like the best situation for Matthew Bolinger was to just completely get off of it, sober up. And he's got himself a good job, and he's taking care of his kids, and that's a great thing. Thank you so much. I'm so appreciative. If you want to be a part of the program, What Makes You Famous, give me a call, 501-470-6386. Just leave a message if I don't answer. Or you can contact me on email, whatmakesyoufamous@radiowhat.com. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. What Makes You Famous? Keys Dan, radiowhat.com, djlittlerock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.
Radio What? The music you want. Hey guys, this is Shelly G with a fast fact. About 1/4 of movie videos sold are animations. Do you have a fast fact? Share it with us at Interactive Radio, radiowhat.com.
Tweet, yo. Follow Radio What on Twitter @Radio What Twit. Tweet, yo.